What's going on, YouTube? Today I'm gonna show you guys on how to do the oil injection block off, so you guys can premix your own gas in the YAMAHA Blaster. So today I have a 2005 YAMAHA Blaster that we bought a couple weeks ago. I ordered the oil injection block off plate here from eBay. This was about 30 bucks for the plate and the OEM Yamaha gasket. That's the part number you guys are gonna look up. Like I said, you can get this from eBay for about 30 bucks or so. So I kind of in the middle of doing it right now, but it's pretty easy on how you guys break it down to where you start to take everything off and reassemble. So the first step, you're gonna want to remove, I took off all the plastics because I wanted to clean the carb and just kind of clean everything up, clean all the wires and stuff. But you're gonna want to remove this foot peg that sits here. I had to take apart the brake and everything, the foot peg assembly to get that off. Not too bad, but luckily my bolts weren't rusted in pretty bad. But you're gonna want to put grease back on these once you reassemble them, so it's easier to get off. But aside from that, kind of step one, you should drain the transmission fluid out of your transmission here, because you have to take off obviously this whole clutch cover side. So once you do that, once that's draining, you can take off your Kickstarter nut. This is kind of a pain to get off. I had to put a little punch on the other side and hit it with the hammer to get the Kickstarter to come off, just because it was kind of rusted on there. So I'll put some grease back on the splines when I reassemble. Like I said, I took the carb off, cleaned it, cleaned the reeds, so everything's nice and clean in there. So once I got the clutch cover off, I took off this is the pump. It sits on here kind of just like so, with these two screws. Sometimes those are stripped in there, so you want to take an impact gun, try and get those out. So what you do is you take this off, clean your gasket surface area real good, puts in the parts washer, and this is the side cover here. This is where the grommet goes for the oil injection lines. So you obviously pull that off. You take the oil tank off as well. I disconnected the wires and stuff just so I could kind of clean them. They were kind of nasty. But remove the oil tank, remove the side cover after all the oil is drained. Clean everything up nice and good. I kind of labeled everything here just so if I go to resell it or if I go to ever want to put it back on, it's clean, it's labeled easy. I know where everything's at. So I'm gonna throw the head cam on and kind of get reassembling here, so you guys can follow along, and I'll kind of walk you guys through the process here a little bit. It's pretty simple, straightforward, but there's really no good video out there, so I figured, what the heck, I'll make one. So I forgot to mention, there is this plastic gear. So this is kind of why you want to take it out, because this gear has potential for breaking. But this dowel pin right here in this seal, this little guy, is it sits right here. So you want to pull out, the seal sits on this side, so you pull the seal out, and I just heated this area up with the map gas, and just gave it a little tap with a chisel and a punch, and it came right out. So this is, like I said, where you're gonna put the block off plate with the new gasket, and start reassembling from there. So I forgot to mention that. That's an important part. It's also good, like I said, to clean this up so you can see your sight glass here for your oil level. Yep. All right, so these are the OEM part numbers. Like I said, I got this in the kit. Just take a look at that. These two. This is the clutch cover gasket. These are the 2 screws that came with the kit. I'm going to use the OEM ones. This goes on the carb. This is where the original oil line connected into the carb. So you're just going to pop that on the one line. That's going to go right there on that little guy right there. So, all right, so here's the little rubber grommet piece. I put some RTV in there last night on both sides. Let it sit overnight. It's good and dry now. I'm gonna put the side case back on with the new gasket. All right, guys, so I took some Bel-Ray waterproof grease and put it around both sides of the gasket here. In case I have to take it back off, I'm not gonna rip or tear my brand new gasket. It just gives it a little bit of play in it. So just a little tip for you guys. You don't have to put a ton on it. I actually probably put a little bit too much. Probably gonna wipe some of this off, but just a nice little layer, especially kind of at the corners, like I said, on both sides. So that way when I can take it off, I don't risk damaging the seal and whatnot. So. All right, so we got the cover on. The clutch cover bolts, these are 7.1 foot-pounds of torque. The side cover, these are screws. These are supposed to be at 5.1 foot-pounds of torque. But I kind of just did it by the feel of kind of what these were, pretty close enough, the clutch cover ones. The clutch cover is a size 8. I've been using 1/4 inch. I got the 1/4 inch torque wrench. And then the Kickstarter bolt here is 47 foot-pounds. I broke out the 1/2 inch torque wrench for that. The most important part here, when you're all done, make sure you guys drain the original gas out, because that's not pre-mixed, but we got everything back together. Got the foot peg on, the brake hooked up, clutch cover back on, oil back in there, carbs all hooked up, everything's tight, got the exhaust back on. You don't have to take the exhaust off, but we polished it up, so looks pretty good. But yeah, that's how you do the oil injection block-off plate. Yeah, so we're gonna test it out now, fill it up with premix, and give her a rip.